I see people are joining. Hi, everyone. Hi, glad to see you. Again, I can see so many familiar faces. Oh my God, T and Rebecca. I'm glad that you made it safe. All right, Diana, James. Okay, guys, welcome to Wed Vibes live session. It is March. It smells like spring. It smells like season is coming. So glad that you made it live. And today, the session will be very special. Actually, we try to do everything in our power. First, to invite extraordinary speakers, and second, to discuss some topics that resonates you the most. And we're going to talk about wedding vendor anxiety, the topic we have never touched before. And we invited amazing Lauren and Michael from Vendor Table that you guys, I believe, know, and some of you follow them and also put comments under their reels and podcast, and they will talk about this topic. If you haven't met, I believe with the majority of people in this virtual room we've met, but if we haven't, my name is Alina, this is Daria, and we are co-owners of WEDVIBES and the powerhouse behind it grows. Now, as a tradition, I will ask you to put in the chat your name, your profession, and where you're joining from. And I always ask you to put chat on fire, meaning, please don't hold yourself to send some greetings to Lauren, Michael, me, Daria, WEDVIBES team, to each other, because this is how you take maximum advantage of this session. This is how you understand that this is not just the weirdos with camera and mic off. This is like wedding professionals, and you most probably will meet some friends or even partners. Just put in the great comment in the chat. And you know, guys, that our mission at WEDVIBES to showcase, to find and showcase amazing wedding talents and help you to convert your talent into success or into the profit. And we empower you with all kinds of marketing and PR tools. Plus, we foster this amazing community, global community. We just chatted that we have people from all over the world. And we have these transparent and honest conversations about the back end of your business, also giving this feeling that you belong to a great tribe of wedding professionals and you have a safe space to discuss something that bothers you, and where the place where you can gain confidence. And this session is part of this movement. And I don't see that many people to put the introduction in the chat. Please do. Please do, because for our amazing guests, it's also a very unique experience, and we just chatted about that. They're huge on Instagram, however, live session is something very different. So please make it live, put chat on fire. We want to know, first of all, who is joining, where are you joining from? And yes, please impress our guests, show that we have this amazing worldwide community, people from all over the world. Yeah, I can see New York, Mexico. All right, now I will pass over to Daria.
Now
And
it's
guys,
going. Now it's going.
yeah,
Yeah,
now it's
now it's
going.
going.
So guys, you
Yay.
can silently read who is
Woohoo.
joining us. Daria, I will pass him over to you, give the proper introduction, and then it will be your time to shine.
Yes. So welcome, Michael and Lauren. They're both the wedding photographers originally, and I know that you still work as a wedding photographers, and also they're hosts and founders of the Vendor Table podcast. And I believe that story goes that one day you actually sat at a real vendor table at a real wedding. And decided, okay, let's start a podcast. Let's do all of those stories. And today it's a hit. We are huge fans. I don't know, guys, how many listeners do you have, like through Spotify or like Amazon Music? But I know for sure that on Instagram and TikTok combined, you have over 150,000 followers. And yeah, this is amazing. And I think like what makes you different, it's all of those like raw, unfiltered like lens that you speak about the industry, and it's great to hear like all of this real candid conversations from the vendor perspective. But I believe your episodes, they're applicable for everyone. It's for the couples and for the vendors as well. Some of my favorite episodes are, for example, how Gen Z is changing the wedding industry, or it could be something for the creatives, like how to automate your wedding business, or the latest one, I haven't yet heard it, but listened to it, but I will. Should you Irish exit a wedding guest? I love it. So once again, we are huge fans of your candid approach, and I believe we're gonna hear so many insights. So I prepared my pen to write down all the insights. And yes, I think we're gonna benefit from all of this conversation. And once again, for Lauren and Michael, it's the first time that it's not a podcast, but it's a real thing, real live session. So guys, whenever you feel like you have something to add or ask a questions, please do, and we will appreciate it. Go ahead. The floor is yours right now.
All right.
Wow, that was some intro.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Try not to let it go to my head, but
Yeah, seriously, that's amazing. All right, I'm gonna load our slideshow. Is everyone seeing this? I don't like we're live. We're on the fly. This is we record episodes, and usually you see things uncut with the vendor table and everything like that. But guys, I'm Mike Casara. I'm a wedding photographer from Long Island, New York. This is my co-host Lauren O'Brien, also a wedding photographer from Long Island. So if you aren't familiar with us, we are the vendor table. We record podcast episodes weekly. We release episodes every Tuesday about absolutely relevant topics in the wedding industry and things people don't really want to talk about or they don't really want to address at times. We're in the love and light industry where everything's sunshine, rainbows, and smiles. And, we wanted to give people a peek behind the curtain. All right. Like this is a interesting time in the wedding industry. We have reports that business is slow, leads are drying up. There's, not a rush for, people getting married as quickly as they were in years past. And with that comes a lot of anxiety as a vendor. A lot of vendors have expressed to us that, they have been anxious about where the next job's coming from, or, do they have to shift gears? And we're going to talk all about it. But first, Lauren, you want to add anything to what I just talked about right there?
yeah, I think like also having this platform right now is great for us. And maybe we look pretty often that we have our shit together, but as usual, we are not exempt from feeling anxiety as wedding vendors as well. So we are feeling it, and we just want to talk about the ways that we deal with it, and hopefully it helps a bunch of you.
Yeah. So we're going to dive into it. So our presentation today, normally we do podcast episodes where they're kind of like off the cuff and we banter BS and just have a lot of fun with it. Ladies, can we curse on this?
I was just going to ask, are we allowed to swear? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. Okay. Because we do let it fly a little bit. So,
I was scared for a minute.
Yeah. We're trying to keep it PG if need be. But most of us know us for our explicit rating on Spotify and Apple. So if we do let it fly, I just wanted to make sure that was okay. All right, so we're gonna go into our presentation, everything like that, like our points and everything like that. We did a whole episode on this. Like Lauren and I did a whole episode on this topic. Aging out of the wedding industry and wedding anxiety was actually the episode. So if you guys have to tune out or anything like that, a lot of the points we're covering here are more elaborated points from that episode. So we're gonna kind of dive into deeper detail about this and kind of get a little bit more exclusive for our listeners here. But hold on there. Okay. So
here we go.
Technology. Okay.
Look at us.
I can't see the chat with my screen full screen. So Lauren,
I'm keeping an eye on it.
Okay. So if anyone stops, just like let me know. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So why don't we intro this out? Lauren, you intro it. You go.
Oh, just like the points, or are we talking about?
Yeah, like all right, we're gonna talk about like this shit. This is weird for us, people. Okay, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun.
That's
with it,
live, guys. No take, like only one take.
Only one take, yeah.
Just full disclosure, we are going to hit on these topics and probably just go into what we normally do. But it's really important to understand like wedding anxiety from our perspective as vendors, because once again, like just to touch on what Mike said before, we're in an industry where it is all about love and happiness and kind of this magical aura that is always talked about. And from our perspective behind the curtain, we're also, trying to present this air that we have everything together and we're doing great as business owners, but mentally we may be having, you know,
A
a
mentee
bunch of
bee.
mental breakdowns. Mentee bees, as we say.
Mentee bees.
A good old fashioned mentee bee. I call Mike crying like at least once a week. So this is normal to feel this way. I want to stress that. Like, it is normal and expected to feel anxiety, especially during a changing and shifting industry as we're in right now. But there are people just feel anxiety pre-wedding anyway. People have anxiety disorders, and there are like healthy coping mechanisms to get through it. So I think it's important to talk about it, especially for newer photographers, for sure.
Absolutely. It's completely normal in this industry to have anxiety or fear of the unknown, because that's what anxiety is. So, as vendors, we need to understand that. Like, we wanted to understand that, one, for having a show and having a platform and telling people, like, this is something that everyone experiences, including us that have been in the industry a long time. I've been doing weddings for 13 years. Lauren's been what? How long have you? 8, 9?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. So combined, I think we have almost 1,000 weddings between the two of us captured. So we've been in it for a long time. We're not like we haven't just been doing this for like a year or two. Like, we're very seasoned. And it's important to understand that, like, no matter who you are or what level you're at as a vendor, you're going to experience some form of anxiety in some way, shape, or form.
No one's immune to anxiety or
Nobody.
nerves.
No, exactly. Like, I always joke that, my one fear is forgetting a piece of equipment, right? Like, on the way to a wedding day. Biggest fear, right?
And
Like,
we've done it.
we've forgotten memory cards, we've forgotten batteries, like,
Battery thing, man.
oh man, like, you just
Batteries.
you have something that always, gives you anxiety. Like, oh my God, did I charge my gear? Are my flashes charged?
But you do it one time, and that one time is enough.
Mhm.
You become, which we're going to go into, like what happened and how we corrected it or fixed it,
Exactly.
so it doesn't happen going forward.
Exactly. So, like, let me get to the next slide, because this is where we're talking about here. Look at this. We got slides.
Look at these bullet points.
Oh
So
my God, we have bullet points.
professional.
Oh my
Right.
gosh. Right. So, like, fear of forgetting equipment, right? So, like, you do, like, we've all, like, as photographers, we have forgotten shit. We've forgotten our gear. Like, we've had to call friends or spouses and loved ones. Oh my God, I forgot my memory card holder. Like, it literally has my backup memory cards. Now, I have my cards in the camera, but I'm like, what if those cards corrupt? I need backups, right? And, like, so as photographers, we always need backups, right? You always need a backup, especially on a wedding day. So that's, like, probably, I think, a photographer's biggest fear.
I tell this story all the time because it's so hilarious. Like, the night before, you're prepping your bag, you're prepping your kit, you're charging all your batteries, doing all the things, and then you pack it all up. And I went to a location, and I forgot my flash batteries
Mm-hmm.
for both of them. They were still in the charger.
It's like,
So
oh no.
I was like, had to call my husband and be like, "Excuse me, sir, emergency, help." And it never happened again. But yeah, it's everyone does it at some point. No
Everybody.
immune. I see
No.
someone saying it's the damn stapler.
Yeah.
And, like, I always make this joke, right? You're driving, like, who as a vendor? All right, I'm gonna open this up to the chat. I can't see the chat. I want to see the chat. Hold on, can I see the chat?
I can see the chat.
Yeah, you
can't
can
see
just
it.
click on the chat button and
You have to press the button thingy.
I know I'm full screen. So that's like, hold on, let me see the chat. Hold on. I want to
Oh
see.
yeah, if you're sharing your screen, it's tricky.
Yeah.
Don't you
So
have multiple screens?
no, I wish I did. See, I got it.
See,
Hold on.
we can have an honest
Oh.
conversation about back end of the business when you try to
Okay.
figure out the screen situation.
I have two screens.
Can you guys see this view though? Can you see this?
We can see everything, and hopefully we can
Like,
at
we can
least
see
some
everything.
notes.
You can see my desktop.
Yeah,
Can I hold
please
this?
pull out your
No,
pin
we
code
cannot
for
see
your
your
card.
desktop.
You
Yeah,
just see
just
the.
I can
You
see
could just-
where your cursor is. Yes.
Okay, so you could just see that. You could see the presentation though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
just nothing else on my desktop.
nothing
Oh.
else.
Okay, great. That's better because now
What's on there? What's on
What do
there,
you
Mike?
have on your
what's on
desktop?
it? My emails and my guides that I'm building and stuff like
And
that.
the
So
honeybook or whatever you use for
and
your
my
income.
very unorganized desktop that I want nobody to look at right now. Folders everywhere. All right.
I'm sorry,
I
Matt. I just keep terrorizing Mike. That's my job.
I just want to make sure I could see the chat and everything like that. But who has that nightmare dream, or not even, let's not even say dream, okay? That moment where you leave the house, right? And you're driving down the road and you get out of the car. You have to pull over and get out of the car and like check the trunk and make sure your equipment's still there. All right. Thumbs up in the chat if you have hands up, okay? Because Lord knows I do it every single freaking wedding. I do it. Lauren.
I've
Lauren
never
says she
done that.
doesn't do it. She doesn't do it.
I've never
Oh,
done
we
that.
don't do Okay.
I've never
whatever.
done that, but that's not a flex, you know? It's just
Mhm.
because I'm so compulsive the night before that I know now. Like that's when I do the thing where I'm like, I'll go upstairs and I'll come back down and be like, did I get the batteries? Did I go back upstairs, come back down? Like constantly checking. And
Constantly,
then in the
right?
morning, I do the same damn routine over and over and over again, making sure I have all the things. And then when I get in the car and I'm driving, I'm like, I did it. But then when I get to the location, I still go through my bag and I'm like, do I have all the things? Do I have all the things? Is everything, you know? And so, no, do I stop on the side of the road? No. But the same mentality is happening, just in different
Right?
spots.
All right. Like we all have that, like that we all have certain things that like freak us the hell out, right? Um, as photographers, that's the number one, right? Fear of forgetting essential items or equipment. Okay. Like that's, and I think most vendors have the same fear too. So if you're a florist, you forgot like, some candle holders, or if you're a planner, you forgot your notebook or like your backup items, things like that. So, these are common sources of anxiety. We're going to talk about,
Giggling.
strategies to reduce them and stuff like that.
The dreams are really funny.
Yeah, I love that people started sharing their dreams, basically the nightmares.
Taking photos with your eyes.
You're very sporty in your dream. If you can swim in the pool and run, very sporty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Mackenzie writes, one time I had a dream I forgot my camera and the couple told me to take photos with my eyes.
That's the
LOL.
one that made me laugh.
I
That's
love
new
that.
technologies.
It's the Ray-Ban Meta.
Ray-Ban Meta one, yeah.
There you go, right? Like we all have meta glasses now. Yeah. But so that's number one, I think. Number two is, miscommunication or scheduling errors. And I think a lot of vendors now can overcome this with a really good CRM system. Like we're both HoneyBook users. It makes things really nice and neat to make sure that like, hey, like you're not going to be off with your schedule, because when the couple inquires, they're inquiring about that date. When you lock in the contract, that contract's for that date, you're not doing things by paper anymore. Like if you guys are still doing things by paper, you're freaking insane, man.
Stop doing
Like,
that.
don't do that. Like, like get a invest in a good CRM system, and miscommunication or scheduling errors will really start to dissipate. And that's one less anxiety you will have.
I know for me, like it does the same thing for you, Mike, with HoneyBook. It'll tell you if you get an inquiry for a certain date, there will be like a little pop-up that says you have a conflict on this date.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it tells you like you shouldn't do this.
Mhm. We had somebody in our Facebook group who openly admitted that he showed up to a wedding he thought he was booked for,
But he was.
and he wasn't. And I think one, that was very admirable of him to admit to it, because the other person said this person like showed up and everything like that, and he like was in our group and he admitted to it, and we're like everybody like appreciated his honesty, but also we're like, hey bud, you got to get a CRM system to help yourself out. So I think, with miscommunication, scheduling errors, that really comes down to what is your system that you have in place. Have a good ass system in place. Have a good CRM, whether it's HoneyBook, Dubsado, like whatever they have out there, get something to invest in. I know they're pricey. I know they could be expensive,
It's
but
worth it.
It's so worth it. It's a write-off.
Gives you just peace of mind to know that everything is organized. Yes, Studio Ninja is another one. Studio Ninja, Dubsado, 17 Hats. obviously we both use HoneyBook. There's so many different. Pixie Set also has a studio manager. Use
Yeah. There's
something.
ones for planners, like if there's planners, I'm sure there's ones for florists. Like just having a good CRM system will help you with that. So the next point though is managing high client expectations and last minute changes. A common source of anxiety. Yeah, right. Okay. Like we all know this shit. Okay. Like you have this beautiful portfolio on your website and like, oh man, I got a lot to live up to. Like and then your clients see that and they have like the highest expectations. Like, they hear great things on Instagram. Maybe you're growing your Instagram. You got like, 5,000 followers and like you're the hit of the town and everything like that. You're now having higher expectations placed on you. And with that comes, higher expectations from your clients and any like last minute changes that they might have, or like, oh my God, the inspo, right? Like we've all had clients send inspo to us like last minute.
Photos.
Yeah, right? Like the Pinterest boards and everything like that, where you were like, yeah, that's not my style. Like you booked me like a year ago. Like what's happening here?
Or like the reference photo that they're sending looks absolutely the opposite of what their wedding is supposed to be.
Right.
So setting their expectations in like a healthy, respectful way where they don't feel dismissed is a lot of pressure. Weddings themselves are an incredible amount of pressure for us. So I think a lot of people just like tend to forget that.
Yeah.
These are high stakes events. It's a once in a lifetime event for, most people hope. So yes, fight or flight vibes for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think with like these high expectations that like, are placed on vendors, you want to fulfill those expectations. You want to live up to you want to live up to the hype, right? Like, like holy shit, like, you got this big rep and everything like that, 5-star reviews, and like, like you crushed it at Susie's cousin's wedding. Now, Susie expects you to show up and crush it for hers, but it's a total different vibe. There's weather, there's, like so many different factors out here. The lighting's not the same. And like, so clients might have that expectation. So like, these are things that like always can overwhelm vendors. And it's important to like realize that you're not alone in this stuff. Lauren, you want to add anything to that point?
Not to that point, no, but like you just mentioned, like difficult clients, difficulty with guests,
Other vendors.
other vendors butting heads with planners, or it's a lot of personalities to manage on a wedding day. So obviously that can be a source of stress as well, stress, anxiety, especially it's such a strange industry, like for an introvert, but so many vendors are introverted in this industry. This is I mean, Mike, I think, we talked about this, right? Like I'm a wedding extrovert.
Yes.
But a life introvert.
Same. Who else in the chat?
Anybody else in the
You
chat?
have your
like
alter
that?
ego, Lauren.
Oh yeah, she's insane.
Yeah.
She's insane.
Goblin.
Oh, you ladies, you like, believe me, when you see wedding Lauren, she's an animal. Next level.
It's something else. Like if you think I'm a goblin on the podcast, it's even worse in person.
Yeah. I have to manage her too, because she second shoots for me. So, like that's always fun.
Good luck with that.
But it's true though, right? Like I feel like, especially photographers, most photographers are creative. So they are introverted in nature, right? Like the artist mentality, you're introverted and everything like that. But on a wedding day, you're forced to become an extrovert, right? And engage with people. And that could be its own thing. That's its own anxiety. Like, oh my God, I gotta go talk to people. I swear to God, like that was one of the first things I had to overcome as a vendor, was just trying to be more extroverted. And now it's like second nature. I walk in, I'm like, what's up, ladies? Like, how you doing? Let's go. Like shit like that. It just charges you up.
When I was waiting tables back in the day, I called it my customer service voice. Like my you
Yeah,
instantly
alter ego.
a switch flips and you turn into another, like your business alter ego, essentially. And that doesn't mean that that alter ego isn't a part of you, because it is, clearly. But so many people find themselves in this position where they're forced to become an extrovert when in all other aspects of their lives they are introverted. So that is it's a mountain to climb, to get acclimated to that when you're entering the industry. And somehow everybody seems to do a really great job of doing it. But yeah,
it's just it's so funny how wedding photographers become extroverts as soon as like they pick up the camera and they walk in the door to see the couple and everything like that. It's funny how that comes out. And I think if you're struggling, like you're struggling to become an extrovert, or you want to be more personable and everything like that, no joke, pick up a camera and become a photographer, because it like forces you to become more extroverted. So I think like that's like a big thing, like, you know, having to deal with difficult situations, though, difficult clients, vendors, like as introverts, like, you know, often at times you don't want to speak up or you don't want to say something. So, you know, like you really hold that back. But when it's your business, you need to do that. Okay. And like you might have anxiety forming from that, but you know, there are difficulties on wedding days, whether it's with a client, vendor, planner, you name it, you know, kind of thing. So like we need to deal with that. And we're going to talk about, you know, strategies to reduce anxiety. These are just common sources and everything like that.
right.
And the last part is handling unpredictable situations. That's usually weather related, venue issues. Like, I mean, come on, you know, like we've all dealt with that. Like, you know, the like, shit, like this beautiful garden wedding turns into like their now cocktail hours in a hallway. You know, how do you deal with that? How do you overcome that? And how do you make it look, as a photographer, how do you make that look beautiful without your client like feeling like it's your fault? We've all had to deal with that. We all have to overcome that stuff. So yeah, we'll dive right into strategies to reduce. But Lauren, you want to add anything to the common sources of wedding anxiety that we have here?
No, I don't think so. I think we pretty much touched on most of the most common anyway. You know, there are always going to be things. I think also just the crippling fear of a negative review, right? There's so many people who are so afraid of getting a negative review that they almost give clients everything, because they are terrified of to see those words. So also, we're going to talk about that, because I feel like that's really important, because bad reviews are going to happen. We can all like thoughts and prayers ourselves to have perfect review track record for the duration of our careers. But the likelihood of that happening, you're going to get at least one pissed off client that sucked.
Yeah. Like,
you know,
it's bound to happen. And lately, you know what? Have client write like lately, I'll be honest with you. All right, have a client post a shitty TikTok about you because you're gonna blow up and go viral and gain like 200 new clients. So you know what?
Right now,
want karma? Have a client like trash your service or something like that, and go on TikTok. Like they could go on TikTok, you know, post a negative story about you and watch your followers and
happen.
Yeah.
In real time.
So I feel like we could overcome negative reviews, and we'll talk about that and everything along those lines. But yeah, like it is a big fear. You know, Lauren and I talk openly about, you know, our first under 5-star review. Oh my God.
The worst.
Oh my
Under
God.
5-star, under 4.
A
Like,
heartbreaking, soul-crushing, life-shattering event.
that first
Get over it.
that first 4.8-star review
Oof.
hits you like a ton of
Funny.
bricks. Right? Like, you know, like you just want to be so perfect, and
Like,
we're
it
not
couldn't just
perfect.
give me the 0.2.
Yeah.
The fuck? Why?
Come on, man.
You
Like,
know?
what are you talking about? My timing was like a 4-star timing. Are you kidding me? I responded to you within 28 hours. Feel like that's good enough, you know? So there's things like we have that crippling anxiety about that stuff, but we're gonna talk about ways to reduce it. okay, and get into that. So strategies to reduce wedding anxiety. You guys still see my screen? Everybody still see my
Yes,
screen?
Michael.
Okay, I'm just checking. Okay. I'm great with technology, except when I'm
Shut
having to
up. Keep
present
talking.
shit. Okay. All right. So what's ways to overcome it? Or reduce it, we should say. Preparation and organization. Boom. Okay. The most important thing, easily the most important thing, right? Checklist, packing list, you name it. Okay. What's something that could help you reduce anxiety and stress? Making sure it's written down and you can check it off. You know
And
it's
if
done.
it's like a note on your phone where you can just like check off the bullet points. I know that the iPhone has an app, reminders, a reminders app or
Mm-hmm.
tasks or whatever it is now. You can make your own list, like your prep list. Uh, and Mike and I talk so often about how much we love lists. I
Love me
love
some
a
lists.
list.
Love a good list.
Um, I started implementing other lists in my life, and I'm just like, wow, I'm so organized. I've got my shit together like a lot. I don't.
Yeah.
It's crumbling around me, but it's fine because I have my list.
Your list keeps you grounded. It
It
really
does.
does.
It's like your emotional support item.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It keeps you covered. It keeps you grounded. I cling to mine. Okay. I really do. Especially I have a wedding day checklist more than anything else. Like,
Mhm.
okay, family shot lists. Big important one.
Family shot list. Just a shot list in general. Like
Yeah.
I consider
Mhm.
my timeline and all of that stuff my shot list. Like the thing that I reference throughout the day. So it's got everything.
Yes. Yeah. Having that reference point, like just to say, I did it. Okay. Mark it down. Check it off. Okay. Don't have to do it now. I have my family one is really the most important one on the day, but I also have some inspo ones. Like if a couple requests, like I want an under the veil photo. All right. I'm marking that down and making a list about that. And checking it off when I do it. Like walking shot, you name it. Okay. Like as a photographer, I think having that checklist in front of you and just noting that you did it is so important.
I
So
know that somebody in the chat did just say some people put the timeline of the day on their lock screen of their phone so that they can just like pull it up really easily. That's a great tip too.
absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Alex did that. That's awesome.
yeah.
Yep. I love that idea. I've
Oh,
seen that
hi,
more
Alex.
and more.
Sorry about that. That was
Uh,
you.
That was
love
him.
that.
Yeah, that's Alex.
That's such a great tip too. I've seen that a lot. That I saw that in TikTok and I was like, that's clever. I love that. Just to see the timeline and you have it right there and everything like that is very, very smart.
Mhm.
Like making lists are very important, but like, also other things, right? Double checking contract schedules, logistics of ahead of time. Making sure you're going to the right place, the right venue, the right church, like making sure if you have a second shooter, they're going to the right place, double checking things before the wedding, and don't do it the day of the wedding.
No.
Come on, do it like
Oh,
it at minimum the
this
day
has
before.
happened twice. Once while I was a second shooter and once while I was a lead shooter. So I'm going to be fully transparent with you when I say that I dropped the ball on one of these situations and had to recoup. Um, both times one of us went to the wrong location. So in my situation, there were two venues very close by us that had similar names, and I went to the wrong one. Luckily, they were only about 10 minutes from each other, and my second shooter was on location and continued to just go about business as usual. My couple never knew that I went to the wrong spot. They just thought I hit traffic, but I went to the wrong venue. And on another occasion, I was the second shooter, and the lead shooter went to the wrong church and completely missed the processional. But I was there. So
Mm-hmm.
we
That was
switched
luck.
gears. So another reason why maybe consider having a second shooter in your packages.
You know,
Just saying.
just saying, it's always good to have a backup. But But no, like, double check those things, those schedules, the logistics ahead of time. Make sure you know where you're going. I always do
Correct.
a quick
Not just the name, but
Mhm.
the address.
Yep.
So
Like,
important.
yeah, check those Google Maps before you get in the car to start going somewhere.
Yeah.
Like we've heard horror stories of people, like not checking the Google Maps and they end up in the middle of fucking nowhere. You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be that person, especially ladies out there. Okay, double check your locations, please, with that.
Share
Okay.
your location with a friend.
Mm-hmm. Like you need to yeah, let people know where you're gonna be. Send the schedule to somebody that you love and everything like that, so they know where you're gonna be. Things like that. Okay, especially the ladies out there. Please, it's a weird fucking time in the world. Um, but the other part is implementing a confirmation system with clients, venues, and other vendors. We put venues there. I mean, like venues are going to check in with you to, get your COI or certificate of insurance, things like that. They might ask you some questions about your schedule, and just you want to confirm with them. Number one, and confirm with your clients, like they know, they're aware. Personally, what I do is a month out, I send over like a wedding day prep guide. And that's basically how, like, all the items to have ready for the big day for me to photograph. But in that email also includes like, hey, do you have any final questions or anything like that, just to like confirm. And then we do like we do a phone call 2 weeks out just to go over the schedule, make sure everything's good, nothing's changed, like nothing last minute, like, hey, we had to switch hotels, things like that. And then the day of, like, or like the night before, like if they're staying at a hotel, I just send them a text like, hey, all good with the hotel, can you send me your room number for tomorrow, kind of thing.
Mhm.
That way they know and everything like that. And like way before that, they have their timeline broken down with me personally. Lauren, I know you do something similar.
Yeah. Um, we do a preliminary timeline, usually at the point of like the moment we book. I do like a preliminary timeline based on the information that they have right then and there, which is usually just the ceremony start time and the reception start time. So based around that, I've already kind of mentally put together my day, but I have a formula for all of that. So that's already pre-organized. And then 2 to 3 months prior to the actual wedding, we have an actual finals call to comb over the timeline in detail, go over family details, their names, dynamics, divorces, if there's any bad blood in the family and people can't be next to each other, all of those tiny little details, so that come day of, there is no stone unturned. Everything goes as smoothly as possible. I know we've had people who like told us that they don't do shot lists, and I could never.
Baffling.
I could never.
You people insane? Like, you don't have a
That's
shot list? Oh my God.
nuts.
Crazy.
That's nuts.
At
Because
least
God
a family
forbid,
shot list. Have a
a
family shot
family
list.
shot list.
Oh
That's
my
crazy.
God.
So yeah, about 2 to 3 months out, we do that. And then roughly about the same, Mike, 2 weeks before the wedding, we have a final call or even a text message to make sure that nothing has changed and that we're all good to go. But that helps me in my brain, my chaotic goblin brain, make sure that everything is neat, organized, ready to go. Day of, I don't sweat it at all, because I know that even if something goes wrong or different, Mike and I both factor in extra buffer time.
Yeah, buffer time is very important. Like,
Yeah.
have like a little bit of like, and this kind of goes into time management, like our
Mhm.
next bullet point here. But yeah, like, have building buffer time into your day as a photographer especially is very important. I often tell my couples, you don't tuck and roll, you don't tuck and roll out of the limo right into photos, right? There's always some walking factor involved. There's always like a touch up needed. There's always like, somebody needs to use the restroom. You have those factors there. So you don't just say like, hey, photos begin at 12 when we arrive at 12. Photos begin at 12:15. And if you start a little earlier, then
That's great.
that's great. You got a little bit more time on the back end to play. So, or, the couple has a little bit more time to relax. So, time management is very important with helping reduce, stress and anxiety on a wedding day. especially, factor in your buffer time, factor in arriving early.
Yeah.
This is super important. I tell every vendor this that's starting out in the industry. If you really aren't arriving early, at least 20 minutes prior to your start time, you are doing yourself a disservice, because you want to roll right into photos. You want to roll right into something. Like you really want to just roll right into things. It's very, very important to get a rolling start, and you're not just starting cold. Especially as a photographer. Like I go in, I'm arriving half hour prior to my scheduled start time.
Or you're me.
But yeah, she gets there sometimes an hour prior to start time.
I
She sits
just sit in my car.
yeah, but it's better to be an hour early and sit in your car, listen to music, eat some food, things like that, than be like 5 minutes late or 5 minutes prior, where you're gonna rush in, look frantic, look chaotic. You're gonna be stressed out of your freaking mind. All right, so arrive early. That's gonna help you reduce anxiety.
I also want to make the suggestion to look at traffic patterns on those days during the time of day in advance. So like, say for example, the wedding is on a Friday and you have to be at a certain location by 5 p.m. Rush hour is not going to be the same travel time as off peak. So just kind of like pre-check it. And these are things that a lot of people just don't think of. You see whatever time you look up the location, distance between X and Y, and it takes 15 minutes. However, rush hour on a Friday, it's going to extend it 35 minutes. So that's another thing to bear in mind too. Just one more little thing to add to buffer yourself and make sure that you have enough time to get from point A to point B. And then, yeah, somebody just said, LA, that shit's crazy.
Absolutely unpredictable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to LA twice.
Oh
Each
God.
time it sat in traffic forever.
Oh my God, I hate LA traffic.
It's horrible.
Oh my God. The 405, right? Is that the freeway? Oh.
Jesus.
Oh God, it takes forever.
I do also want to touch on somebody said in the chat, which I agree with. Don't you think that wedding anxiety is simply a reflection of business integrity? We are keeping ourselves to a higher standard. Yes. As long as you don't let it consume you.
Exactly. Yep. It does mean you care. If you're stressed out, it means you care and you love what you do, and you're putting effort into what you love to do. It's okay to have stress and anxiety. It is a reflection of business integrity, and that's a great point, Diane. So, I don't want to tell people. We're not trying to tell people like you shouldn't have anxiety or stress. We are absolutely pointing out that it is okay to have it, and if you do have it, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just how we handle it. Let's try to handle it and combat it. That way it doesn't affect you on your day of doing business and everything like that. So,
and touching on this one too, because this is within that time management window here. Julian said, it's hard when you're the one that's on time and made the expectations, but the couple or the family or the wedding party is late and causes delays. And again, that's just factoring buffer time in.
Yep.
I put in like an extra hour before ceremony just so that I know that I can take my time, and if things go south, it's there if you need it. I obviously sometimes depending on the couple who just like doesn't give a shit about timing, it can still not be enough. I've had to deal with this a couple of times throughout my career where it just goes so beyond the buffer time that it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's when we struggle, because you feel like as a vendor, you couldn't do your best. But again, it's out of your hands at that point. You've done all that you could. So
100%. 100%. There are certain times where it's completely out of your hands. What are you going to do? Like Laura and I shot a wedding together where the bride forgot her veil. Remember this one?
Yep.
last summer. Bride forgot her veil, her cathedral length veil.
So
Right?
what, you
Had
Photoshop the veil then? Said, no
No.
worries, we will edit it. We will just
We
right.
had to wait. Somebody
She
went back to the hotel.
no, they turned the bus around
Yeah.
to go back and get the veil. That added 45 minutes, a 45-minute delay, like at their church.
Mhm.
So, which in turn put us an hour behind schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, who does it fall on to make up that time? It falls on your photographers usually, or your planner to make up that time. So, what we do? Well, we had buffer time factored in. It ate into it. It ate into it. Like we only had about 40 minutes of buffer time, so
But
we
it
had to
was
make
there.
it. But it was there, and we were able to make it up.
And
So
it was honestly, it's you wouldn't know because
yeah,
it was there and it was factored in. Basically, the day just ran on schedule. We just weren't ahead,
yep,
even
yep.
with a 45-minute delay in the ceremony start time.
Mm-hmm.
So while it may seem like excessive to couples or to other vendors, it's never done me dirty.
No,
It's never been bad to have extra time to do. I don't know. Are we stressing this enough? Buffer time?
yeah, buffer time.
Buffer
Like
time.
everything you think you're doing, every factor. So if you're doing bridal portraits, okay, and you think they're going to take a half hour, 45 minutes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everything add 15 minutes onto. Okay. At the end of the day, it's going to feel like 2 hours of extra time. I guarantee you eat into that at least by an hour.
Mhm.
At least by an hour. Most weddings, 95% of weddings, you're going to eat into that time. So if you factor that in, you'll make up that time. Or if something goes catastrophically wrong, where we've seen that happen, we've seen it happen, you could make it up. So buffer time, very important. That's why like time management and contingency planning, boom. That like, well, it's number 2 here for strategies. I personally feel like it should be number 1 at
Mike
times.
loves timelines.
I love my timelines. Love crafting my
Timelines and
timeline.
guides.
Yeah, so what's the last thing? Okay, communication and boundary setting. How do professionally handling difficult clients and vendors? Yeah, okay. Like, what do we do? Okay, what do we do to handle and reduce anxiety with clients, with communication? Just being clear with your communication. All right. If you have a client that, is like, this starts at the initial meeting. This really does. Okay. Lay out your foundation with how you want to communicate with your clients. If you're all loosey goosey and you're like, yeah, you could call me at any time. Well, don't get pissed at them when they call you at 11 o'clock at night. You told them that, right? Set boundaries for yourself. Set boundaries for your business. All right. Set business hours. It is super important, right? You want to work 9 to 3? Put 9 to 3. Don't answer an email then
Those are
after,
my hours.
right? That's
9
my
to 3.
hours. Okay? Like 100%. So Mackenzie writes, business hours have changed my life. It is probably the number one thing I tell people when they go full time. Set business hours. Work in those business hours. Like, because if you're not, you are gonna be a riddled mess full of anxiety. Okay. Lauren dealt with this. Like when we first started the podcast, she was dealing with this. And I was just like, what are you doing? Set business hours. And it literally
Like, why are
changed
you
her.
responding to clients at 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
It's your dinner time. You're putting your son to bed. You should not be responding to clients during these times. And he's right. And I think like the anxiety stems from this, like if I don't answer them right away, they're going to get upset with me or, but if you apply this to any other business, what's the difference? It's all the same. You have your business hours, and if you make them clear, I have my business hours on my initial inquiry form so that they can see exactly what my business hours are when they're submitting their initial inquiry. And I also have it in my email signature.
Same.
Super important so that they can see, not everybody reads, but at least it's there. So you can be like, as per my last email, it's there.
Yeah.
So yes, and Erin, I know you don't have business hours, but you should make them.
Yeah, Erin, like I don't have it. I literally reply to anyone as soon as I can. Maybe I'll look into doing this.
You
Erin,
can
do it.
you have a CRM and auto response.
Mm-hmm. Like set something up automatically. Hey, every day at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you know, I am now out of the office. I will get back to you like when I open up at 9 a.m. Okay. It's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna kill you to reply 8 hours later, 10 hours later, whatever the hell it is. All right. You're not going to lose a client over that. All right. You're really not. If it's a new inquiry and you have a CRM system, hit the automatic, like, yes, I'm available. Boom. Set up a meeting, all that shit. That's one click. Okay. But if it's a client that has already booked you and you're locked into a contract with them, it's not doing you any harm to reply the next day. It's better for your mental. Okay, girly.
Better for your mental.
Okay. Okay, girly. All right. Want to see you. I want to see that. Okay.
Fuck yeah, Erin.
All right. You got it. Yes, she understands.
Good.
All right. Sorry to
We
yell at you,
send
Erin.
you the power, Erin.
Right.
It's not yelling, it's
You have
enthusiasm.
the liberty
Yes.
to say the honest that yeah, I do take it at 8 p.m. Yeah, but
Awesome.
everyone will now coach you.
Yeah.
Please
People
don't.
actually ask us for pep talks. Erin, you got our first pep talk. There it is. Okay.
You're worth it.
All right. You're worth it. Absolutely. All
One
right.
of the most important parts, I mean, think about why you wanted to be a business owner. It wasn't to work yourself to death. It was to make enough money so that you got your time back.
Yeah.
And that you're able to make your own schedule and do it in a way that allows you to enjoy your life, not spend your life working to death.
Mhm.
So Mike told me, get your shit together and make business hours. I got my shit together. I made business hours and it saved my life. It saved my sanity. So do it. You'll
Yeah.
thank us later.
Mm-hmm. Your mental health is the most important thing that you have as a business owner because, it can take a toll on you. It really can. I've seen people that were very strong, ultimately succumb to, you know, and I'll be honest here, like I had a mentor and my old boss worked himself to death and ended up, unaliving himself. And it was still the most tragic thing I've ever seen in my life. And from that day on, I vowed to never have that happen to me. I set boundaries for myself. I watched that man work 12 fucking hours a day. 12 hours a day, like for a job. He made a lot of money doing it. All right. Had a gorgeous house and all this shit. Right. And where is he now? 10 years ago, this happened. Okay. So I don't want to see people work themselves to fucking death over a job you're supposed to fucking love. You're supposed to love this shit. Okay. If you're a wedding vendor, you got into this because you love what you do. I often joke that like no one ever says they want to become a wedding photographer. They fall into it and they fall in love with it. And it's the absolute God honest fucking truth. You fell in love with this career. Okay. You want to do it because you love to do it. Right. So if you're working yourself to death doing this, you are doing yourself and your mental health a huge disservice. So set fucking boundaries right now. Got it? Okay. That was
It's not yelling, it's enthusiasm.
okay.
He's right though, you know. So yes. Where were we? What were we
I
talking
don't,
about?
I don't know. Boundary setting. There we go. Okay. All right. What's the next slide? I don't even know. Hold on. God, that got me heated. Where were we at? Slide 5. Okay.
Speaking
So
of the timing, by the way, speaking of the time and time buffering, I will be the
Yeah.
best in time policeman. We are now
Okay.
crossing the first hour threshold.
okay.
So
Do we have how much time we have left?
let's keep the momentum. I believe we can do it like around 10 more minutes and then wrap up.
Okay,
Sounds good.
beautiful. We'll do these quick. I love it. You
Yeah,
guys are
stop lollygagging.
Yeah, sorry. All right. Self-care and stress management. Okay.
Yeah, go get your nails done. That'll help.
Yeah, take some time. Go for a walk. I go for a walk every morning. Okay. Like I walk my dog every morning. Do something for yourself.
Yes.
What can you do for yourself? Okay. Whether it's a sport, activity, Even like Lauren said, go get your nails done. Right?
I read books.
Okay? Like
Books.
watch a show, catch up on a show, turn your fucking phone off.
Mm-hmm.
Turn your phone off. Stop scrolling. I'm guilty, by the way. Guilty of this. Okay? Literally have to throw my phone across the room sometimes.
Especially now because we have the podcast and it's consuming so much of our extra curricular activities, but it's a passion project for us. So it's not, yes, it causes us a little bit of stress, but we actually enjoy doing it. So it's fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. So do something that makes you happy outside of your profession. Okay. Whatever it is. All right. Whatever it is, just find something you love to do and do it. And make sure you like set time off to do it, or do something small. Like I said, I go for a walk every day with my dog, half hour out of my day. All right. Get my steps in. It's fun. I try to work out like every day as well. But the walk does give me a little bit more of a mental health break than I think working out. Like I listen to a podcast, I'll listen to some music, and I just chill the F out. All right. And that's important. Also, like we have a bullet point here, setting realistic expectations for yourself. Be real here. Be real with what you set out to do and what your expectations are. All right. Don't try to overdo things. So, yeah, Lauren, add to that. I don't know.
Yeah, don't push yourself to your limits here. Or exceed your threshold. Because you'll so very quickly burn yourself out. And I mean, I got there so many times that I almost stopped.
Yeah.
Because I pushed too hard and I took on too much and thought that I could do everything, especially when I became a mom. I thought I could still live life the way that I was when I didn't have a child, and that's crazy. So, once you have children, if you ever have children, you'll understand that once that happens, you just can't push yourself too far. Before that, you think you can tackle everything that comes your way, and it's not always possible. So just like what Julian said, we are human. Just be human.
Yeah, it's a great point. Great point, Julie. Love that.
Accept and acknowledge that you have limitations and you don't need to try to constantly exceed them. We live in this world where we've said this so many times before, hustle culture is so out there constantly. It's this like mentality that you have to hustle and hustle and hustle and hustle to be successful. And you can do that if it makes sense for you, but if it doesn't, there are other ways to continue to be successful without pushing yourself to your breaking point.
Yep. Yep. So true. So true. Like and I'm guilty of it too, guys. The podcast takes a lot of time to do what we do. And I'm on top of running our wedding photography business and stuff like that. We hustle the shit out of this, but we also do it within certain windows. So remember that. Keep mindset, like set boundaries, things like that. And also, we have it pointed out here, but decompress a little bit. That post-wedding fatigue, everything like that, take some time, chill out. Okay. Take the next day to, catch up on some rest, everything like that, because you can get run down real quick in this industry. You do work really hard. It's both, taxing on your body, both physically and mentally. So it takes some time to decompress with that is, whatever.
How does everybody feel after their first wedding of the season? Because my legs don't work.
Like trash. Trash. It's one of our most popular clips.
Yeah.
Is us like right after the season, right at the start of the season.
Oh yeah, I couldn't walk downstairs.
Right. So, and the last part of this, we want to wrap it up with mindset shift and personal growth. Learning from your experiences, from your stress, will make you better. Okay. It will improve you for the future. Okay. Take that criticism, that feedback, everything, and use it to shift your mindset into being a better vendor. Building a reputation for reliability and professionalism. Get reviews. You had a great time with that client. Send them an email. Absolutely. Can you write me a review? if you need like help, incentivize them in some way, shape, or form. Hey, if you write me a review, can I send you a $10 gift card to Starbucks? Like, can I like, you know, send you an 8x10 print, something like that? Like, that's what I used to do when I was trying to build reviews as a photographer. And then finding joy and fulfillment in the wedding industry despite challenges. Like I said before, you should love what you do. Find joy in doing this. As photographers, we get psyched when when we like create a great shot or a great moment or something like that. Like that is the best thing about doing this, is seeing people light up. And don't get me wrong, okay? We all have felt that way when the client like just responds to, like, you send a gallery and you know you fucking crushed it, and they respond back, "Got it, thanks." Like, we all are like, "Oh my God,"
Why would you do
crippled
this
by
to
that.
me?
Crippled by that. But no, likely they love the photos and they're probably slightly overwhelmed themselves. And you know what? If they're posting the shit out of them and and they're so happy with them, you know, they love them.
Yeah.
They love them. Lauren, you want to add to anything before we end this?
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that because I feel like one of the most common things that people bring up in our group, in our Facebook group, is like, did this is this gallery terrible because they didn't respond when I sent them in their gallery? And listen, guys, couples are very overwhelmed post wedding day when they get their stuff, and sometimes they just don't have it in them to respond. They get so excited, they look at the gallery, and they forget.
Mhm.
They're like, oh my God, they're reliving it. They're maybe having a date night where they're looking at all the photos with their spouse. Chances are they might just forgot, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And if they don't say anything, take it as a win, you know? It might not
Absolutely.
be the reaction that you wanted, but the reaction you don't want is an email back saying they hate them.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, no news is good news.
Absolutely. It's always a great thing. If a
Yeah.
client doesn't reply and then like 2 months later they send you a thank you card in the mail, oh my God, I love the photos. That's the
Great.
best. Thanks. Love it. And I just want Ramses wrote, I just don't get how people do these 100 to 200 next day sneak peeks when you're literally dead. The next day off is key. You know how they don't do that? They don't have fucking kids. That's that's how they do it.
I have
Okay.
also seen other photographers who like bring their laptop with them to the event, and during dinner they're editing, and then the second shooter is shooting, and I'm just, listen, that's not for me. That life ain't
Yeah.
for me.
Nah,
You get
I'm
your
good.
sneak peek in 7 business days.
Yeah, 5 to 7 days is awesome. So
That's fine. You can wait a week. No one's gonna panic. No one's gonna book somebody because they give next day sneak peeks over another talented photographer.
no.
That's not the determining factor here. It's a bonus. It's great, but
Yeah,
that's not life for me. No.
absolutely.
I want to
Absolutely.
eat.
Same. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for this presentation and everything like that. I want to thank everybody at Web Vibes for having us on. This was awesome. Very
I
cool
hope
to do this
everything
live.
that we said was in some way, shape, or form helpful or useful.
That was totally fun. And yeah, Daria, now we can wrap it up.
Yes.
It's our time to shine and also make it as fun as guys did. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Michael. That was great. And I believe, again, to the point that we try to experiment with all kinds of topics that resonates with everyone who works in this labor of love. And usually we teach and we educate and we tell you what to do, how to shape your content, how to run your PR. And today's session was somewhat very different. It was like a relief to many of you that you can just sit and relax and share how hard it is and how you can help yourself to balance in this wedding industry. And that was amazing.
It's a relatable topic. Everyone knows it, everyone experiences, and this is why we've seen like so many like advices or like the struggles people are sharing.
Sharing, and that was cool because
Yeah.
again, every time we do the educational session, we feel like, oh my God, we just extended your to-do list of what you
Yes.
have to do. And you
Go
feel
post,
overwhelmed that,
yes,
yeah, I have to
on
be great
Instagram.
professional, and also I need to do all the things in marketing. And if I don't do it, if I don't keep up, how I can be successful? And today was something that, yes, you can be human. You can have sometimes even not set your business hours, and you will have a lot of people tell you and advise you that you need to set it. But yeah, we are all humans. We make mistakes. We grow. Sometimes we are very much more open to meet all the clients' needs. That's all right. It's a journey, and we all on this journey, and we all make our mistakes, and we all becoming better, and we are becoming more like expensive professionals where people want just to work with us, even if we don't deliver the sneak peek next day, or if we have a huge team to do it for us. So that's great that we've been again honest and transparent. And I think that Michael and Lauren, it's a great, can I say, like, guides to this honesty, to being very true to yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe for you it also was a great experience. It was like almost a podcast, but with a real audience.
This was cool.
Right.
We
Cheering you
kind of gave
up
us
and,
some
like,
inspo. We should do this, Lauren, once in a while.
We
Do a
should do
live-
this.
Yeah.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Have live questions. So we love that. That was great.
So
awesome.
introducing the new format. Yeah.
Yeah.
Format to everyone.
Yeah.
And yeah, with that, we can release everyone. And guys, thank you so very much.
Thank
We will
you,
share the
everyone.
recording.
Yeah.
And
Thanks,
I hope we
everybody.
will see you soon. And the next session will be about marketing. It will be hosted by me and Daria, and we will give you more tricks and tips what to do to grow and thrive. All right, guys. Thank you.
We'll see
Thank you.
everyone soon.
See
Thank you.
you.
Have a great
Bye.
rest of your day. Bye.